People vote Labour and all they get is trash, just like what he's saying at the dispatch box. You know that nurseries are charging over £2,000 for full-time care. That's £24,000 a year after tax, and he's talking about 60p breakfast clubs. He has no idea what people out there are experiencing. They said they'd look after pensioners. Then they snatched winter fuel payments. And if he wants to talk about councils, let's look at Liverpool or maybe Birmingham, where the rubbish is piling up so high, people vote Labour. This is a high-tax, low-growth, job-killing government.
The gloves came off. The Labour leader didn't just show up to ask questions. She came to tear the government apart brick by brick. And the Prime Minister, let's just say his answers, didn't survive the heat. This was one of the most savage PMQs sessions we've seen in years. The Labour benches roared as the opposition leader unloaded a relentless barrage. And the Prime Minister, he tried spinning, but ended up spiraling. Subscribe now if you're done with political gaslighting, because we're unpacking every exposed lie and every brutal takedown. It all started with a firestorm of numbers and one brutal truth. The Rwanda policy is dead in the water. Labour's Mick Moran set the tone early by torching the Tories' immigration solution, reminding everyone it's cost £700 million and only deported 4 volunteers. Yes, 4. That's £175 million per person. And with
the Conservatives attempting to bring back the Rwanda policy, clinging onto a gimmick that cost the British taxpayers £700 million, yet only sent 4 volunteers to Rwanda. As Labour works to secure our borders through our plan for change, does the Prime Minister agree with me? It's quite clear.
What came next? A demolition job of epic proportions. The Prime Minister tried to spin it, his comeback.
They ran an open borders experiment that saw numbers go up to almost 1 million.
Then bragged.
We've got the flights off, 19,000 people removed who shouldn't be here.
But here's the issue. He didn't address the £700 million waste, or the fact that only 4 people were actually sent to Rwanda. No facts, no rebuttal, just blame, distraction, and deflection. He tried lumping Labour with blame, saying,
"We're clearing up the mess that they lost."
But this wasn't a cleanup, it was damage control. Because the policy has failed, the public knows it, and the Prime Minister had no numbers to back up his bluster. Then came the sledgehammer of public reality, and the Labour leader wasn't holding back. She delivered the numbers that cut through the spin like a blade.
Because he should know that nurseries are charging over £2,000 for full-time care. That's £24,000 a year after tax, and he's talking about 60p breakfast clubs. He has no idea what people out there are experiencing.
It wasn't just about childcare, it was about every sector buckling under the pressure of the Prime Minister's jobs tax.
And estimates of job losses are between 130,000 and 300,000. For nurseries. Nurseries are writing to stressed parents right now, telling them that fees will go up.
And if that wasn't brutal enough, she brought the hammer down on council tax.
The average council tax bill is increasing by over £100 in April, after he promised to freeze it. Hard-working families' money is going to the Chancellor instead of social care and fixing potholes. Why should these families pay more for less?
The Prime Minister, his reply was staggering.
Well, she really shouldn't denigrate what she calls, I think, 60p breakfast clubs. She should be welcoming them.
Tone deaf, detached, and completely missing the point. But Labour wasn't done. The knockout blows kept coming.
They said that they would be pro-business, but they hiked taxes on jobs. This is a high-tax, low-growth, job-killing government.
And just when you thought the Prime Minister might offer a real defense, he stumbled through inflation numbers and blamed the last government again. Meanwhile, food prices are set to rise by over 4%, and farmers are begging for relief. Just when it looked like the Prime Minister had nowhere left to hide, the Labour leader launched the kill shot. And it wasn't just rhetoric.
Going to the Chancellor instead of social care and fixing potholes. Why should these families pay more for less? They said that they would be pro-business, but they hiked taxes on jobs. Immoral family farms tax on the very farmers who work so hard to produce our food. What does the Prime Minister have against farmers anyway? Does he not see that his budget is killing?
And she wasn't done, because while families are rationing heat and skipping meals, the government is slamming them with more taxes.
Have had their winter fuel payments snatched away. At the same time, care home fees are set to go up by a devastating. They are going bust. And as if businesses and families didn't have enough to worry about, supermarket immoral family farms tax on the very farmers who work so hard to produce our food. What does the Prime Minister have against farmers anyway? Does he not see that his budget is killing?
Then the bombshell.
He has just scrapped or withdrawn. They are making mistakes with this budget. And that's why in 2 weeks, the Chancellor will come to this House.
Why? Because they trash the economy with their choices, she said.
They trash the economy with their bad choices.
This wasn't just political theater. This was a forensic exposure of a government in free fall. By this point, the Prime Minister was visibly rattled, and Labour wasn't giving him an inch. As the opposition benches erupted, she roared.
They said that they would be pro-business, but they hiked taxes on jobs. And he, Mr. Speaker, he promised to freeze council tax, but it's going up by £100. Even councils must pay his jobs tax. To cope with it, the average council tax bill is increasing by over £100 in April, after he promised to freeze it. Hard-working families' money is going to the Chancellor instead of social care and fixing potholes. Why should these families pay more for less?
Then she delivered the final cold sentence.
This is a high-tax, low-growth, job-killing government.
And what did the Prime Minister say in return?
Mr. Speaker, inflation under them 11%, £22 billion black hole. A mini budget that made us the laughing stock of the world.
No denial, just more finger pointing. No solutions, just excuses. Even on farming, where the government claimed to be investing £5 billion.
He's got no answers today. What the farmers are complaining about is the sustainable farming incentive, which
we saw a leader out of touch, out of answers, and out of time. But we also saw something else. A Labour leader who came to fight, armed with facts, fury, and a message that cut straight to the heart of struggling families. They tried to spin it, but the truth came out. In public and in Parliament. Subscribe now for more no-nonsense breakdowns. If you're tired of being lied to, this is your front row seat to the fight back.